children. In the previous classes, we have studied 5 kingdom classifications and kingdom Monera, Protista, and Fungi. And 2 more kingdoms are there. They are kingdom Plantae and Animalia. That we will study on the next 2 chapters. Today we are going to study 3 important topics. They are viruses, viroids, and prions. One of the major drawbacks of 5 kingdom classification was Whittaker has not mentioned about these group of animals in his classifications. Viruses, viroids, and prions are non-cellular and not truly living. So they are not included in his classification. First we can study about viruses. Viruses have an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. They are obligate parasite. That means they are strictly living inside a host cell. When they infect a cell, they take over the machinery of the host cell to replicate themselves, killing the host. In 1892, D.J. Ivanovsky discovered viruses. He recognized certain microbes that cause mosaic disease of tobacco. They were smaller than bacteria because they passed through the bacteria-proof filters. In 1898, M.W. Bejernik demonstrated that the extract of infected plants of tobacco could cause infection in a healthy plant, and he called that fluid as contagium vivum fluidum. That means infectious living fluid. The name viruses, which means venom or poisonous fluid. This was given by the scientist Louis Pasteur. Generally, viruses that infect plants have single-stranded RNA. Viruses that infect animals have either single-stranded or double-stranded RNA or double-stranded DNA. Bacteriophages, the name indicating they are viruses that infect bacteria, usually have a double-stranded DNA. Viruses is a nucleoprotein. What does it mean? Yes, it has a protein coat and its name is capsid and consists of a genetic material which may be RNA or DNA. So that's about the structure of DNA. It should consist of a genetic material which gets surrounded by protein coat. No viruses contains both RNA and DNA, and this genetic material is infectious. In 1935, W.M. Stanley showed that viruses could be crystallized, and crystals consist largely of protein. The protein coat, which is known as capsid, made of small subunits called capsomeres, which protect nucleic acid. Capsomeres are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric forms. Viruses will cause diseases both in plants and animals. Some examples of diseases which is caused by viruses in animals are mumps, smallpox, herpes, influenza and AIDS. In plants, the symptoms can be mosaic formation, leaf rolling or curling, yellowing and vein clearing, doffing and next we can study about viroids. It is an infectious agent with a free low molecular weight RNA and no protein coat. So that is a difference between virus and viroids. Here there is no protein coat and the genetic material is RNA. And these are smaller than viruses. Viroids were discovered by Theo Diener in 1971. He found that it causes potato spindle tuber disease. Next comes the last group of organisms. They are prions. These are abnormally folded protein that cause some infectious neurological diseases. Prions are similar in size to viruses. They cause bovine spongiform encephalopathy BSE or mad cow disease in cattle and its analogues variant Creuss-Jakob disease, that is CJD in humans. Next we can study about lichens. We have already studied about lichens during kingdom fungi. At that time we have studied about lichens. Here I am again explaining about lichens. What are lichens? They are the symbiotic association between algae and fungi. And this association is called a symbiotic. Why? Because here both the partners, algae and fungi, are mutually benefited. Here the algal component is called a phycobiont. Phyco is representing algae and this part is called a phycobiont, which is autotrophic, and the fungal component is called a mycobiont. Myco is related to fungus and which is heterotrophic. In this relationship, algae prepare food for fungi and fungi provide shelter and absorb minerals and nutrients and water for its partner. Lichens are very good pollution indicators also. They do not grow in polluted areas. So they are collectively called pollution indicators. Through this, our second chapter, biological classification, is over. Next we can study about plant kingdom.